Good morning, everyone. My name is Pastor Jeffrey A. Johnson, Sr. I'm the senior pastor of the Eastern Star Church, and I wanted to certainly take time to say welcome to everybody. We're so glad that you are here today. This is the place where Jesus is exalted and the Word is explained, and we're very excited as we come together as church and community, as city government and business, and of course the educational people who are here. It's very, very exciting for us to unite to accomplish in this community, in the Arlington Woods 46218 community, what we know is necessary for our children to go on to the high expectations that we have for them. And that's certainly a part of the vision and the mission of the Eastern Star Church that we seek to accomplish through our ROCK initiative. The ROCK initiative is renewing our community for the kingdom. And we seek to do several different things as we put a plan together several years ago. And that plan included enhancing this community. We're not trying to take over this community. We're not trying to run this community. We're not trying to dictate this community. But we're trying to enhance this community, trying to come alongside them, to empower them, to equip them. And actually, I'm raised in this community. I'm raised in Arlington Woods 46218. So it's a joy for me to pour back into here with the enhancement of this community. And also, we seek financial literacy. This is an area that is poverty stricken. Unfortunately, it's a high percentage of persons who are in poverty. So we want to come alongside them and try to move them to financial self-sufficiency. And part of that is financial literacy. Sometimes it's not how much you make, it's not knowing what to do with what you make. So providing principles of money management to help them to move to another level of their life financially. And we certainly appreciate Financial Health Federal Credit Union as one of our partners to come alongside to make that happen with the programs that they offer as well. And part of the ROCK initiative is also housing. You can see the brand new houses that the ROCK initiative, Eastern Star Church, we started a company to build houses to control the pricing. So brand new houses that are beautiful and affordable. And then we've been able to take homes that have been abandoned, homes that have been run down, that was really bringing the property value of this community down, and been able to buy those and renovate those and then sell those for a very, very affordable price. And it's really becoming a blessing to this area. Also in the housing, we have owned apartment units now for more than 10 years. But we also just built brand new apartments with our Sunstone at Arlington Woods that has 1 and 2 bedroom apartments on the second and third floor. And then on the first floor, we've been able to lease to businesses who are concerned about community, who pour back into this community. It wasn't just about making money. It's about what can we do to be a blessing to the Arlington Woods 46218 community. And so that's been happening, and we're very, very excited about that. And then the last area that we sought to address is the area of education. And so we believe in collaborations, we believe in partnerships. And so with education, let me say this before I talk about what we're doing right now. Eastern Star Church is 99 years old. We are very excited to be able to celebrate 100 years next year. And this church has always had a heart for community. It didn't start when I got here 31 years ago. This church has always poured into community. So for me to come along, to come later and just line up with what this vision was already about, expressing our faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in how we deal with community. And a part of that is the educational piece. Our church at one point had our own private school where we have invested millions and millions, more than $20 million in facility, in programming, and staffing in this community, as well as the scholarships that we've been giving. And this church was giving scholarships long before I got here, but over the past 15 years, we've been able to do more than $1 million in scholarships. We've also given to the United Negro College Fund and Martin University and Paul Quinn College and others because we believe that education is important and significant. And so now it's collaborations and partnerships. With the private Christian school, we had to see those young people to go on and to get their education at a higher level and graduate degrees and postgraduate degrees, and to see them becoming productive citizens and then pouring back into the community. So it's been exciting to see that. But now we have Early Learning Indiana that is in our facility to provide preschool and child care. We have been partners with Arlington Woods School 99, which has a very capable principal, Mrs. Henderson, who is present with us on the day. And for the past 25 years, our church has partnered with Arlington Woods School 99 in so many different ways, in sometimes providing uniforms, sometimes providing school supplies and tutoring and mentoring. We have fed the children during the summer. Sometimes some of those children really only got quality meals when they were in school. So they got the breakfast and the lunch, and then when school was out in the summer, some of them were not getting the meals that they needed. So our church has been able to provide those meals through some of those years. And so the partnership that we've had with School 99, they've been on our campus, we've been on their campus, they've been in our building, we've been in their building, and that's been going on for 25 years. And so now Mrs. Henderson has partnered up, our School 99 has partnered up with not just IPS, which they're part of, but with the Mind Trust. And we're looking now to help them to become the innovation school, to take our children to another level. We know that our children can learn, and we know that they can produce. And so we just believe if we're working together, we can make that happen. So we have every bit of confidence in Mrs. Henderson and how God has blessed her and just her heart and her passion, and of course the expertise that the Mind Trust brings in. And then we have also partnered with Rooted School, and Rooted School Indy is coming to Indianapolis, and they will be right here in our facility at this location, and their name speaks for itself. You can check Rooted School history and how they have poured into young people to get them the high quality education that they need, and even connect them while they're in high school with internships to help them further with their education beyond high school, and to know what real life is all about in terms of working and in terms of the economic literacy that they bring to Rooted School. So we're honored to be a part of that. And if you're paying attention, so we got the preschool child care, we got the elementary school, we got the high school, we got to figure out what to do with those 7th and 8th graders. And so our church is certainly open to conversations and collaborations, and we know Mind Trust has the expertise in order to make that happen. And so all of that is going to be right here in Arlington Woods in 46218, in a community that unfortunately has been overlooked for far too long, but now it's a joy to see this community growing, and we know a part of the enhancement of this community is what we do with our children, and making sure that we're coming alongside of them and providing them the education that they need to be successful, rather than attacking the victims in the times in which we live. And one of the other things that we're doing with education is we're building right here on this, and I keep saying this location because we're one church in 3 locations, but we're building the Rock Children and Youth Center. It's going to be a 60,000 square foot facility. We're planning now and putting it together, got our architects together, and it's going to be right over there, right just north of the playground there. And even as Rooted School comes in with their STEAM, when school is out for Arlington Woods School 99 and Rooted School, the kids now, the children have a place they can go. It's going to be safe. Is going to enhance that science and technology and engineering and arts and mathematics. Of course, it's going to have, we're in Indiana, have basketball in there, but we're going to do more than basketball and sports. That will be a part of it. But we're going to do mentorships, and we're going to teach our young people what it takes to be successful. And I'm very, very excited about the Rock Children and Youth Center that will be open every single day so that we can come alongside our educational partners in order to make this happen. So again, we're just excited to be able to work with the city government, with the Mine Trust, with IPS, with Arlington Woods School 99, with Rooted Schools, and Indiana, Early Learning Indiana. So if all of us are coming together, we can't help but to be successful. The Bible teaches that one could put 1,000 to flight, two could put 10,000 to flight. We just do better when we work together. I'm going to tell this little story, and then I'll bring up Brandon Brown from the Mine Trust. My friend, Pastor Mike Jones, used to pastor the Progressive Church here in Indianapolis. He's gone on to be with the Lord now. But Pastor Mike Jones used to tell this story about the difference between owning Jackasses and Stallions. And he talked about that if you own a herd of Jackasses and their natural enemy begins to attack, that if a coyote or natural enemy comes after them, then the owner has to run out of the house, gather his Jackasses, get them to safety, get them enclosed, because they don't know how to come together to handle their common enemy. What Jackasses do when they're attacked, they all come together and they put their behinds together, and they stand there in that circle with their behinds together, and when the coyote or the natural enemy attacks that one jackass begins to kick. When he begins to kick, all the jackasses begin to kick, but instead of kicking their common enemy, they kick each other. So you got to run out of the house, you got to gather them together, you got to get them to safety. But if you own a herd of stallions, that same common enemy, that coyote can attack, and stallions, they know how to come together, so the owner doesn't have to do anything. Stallions come together, they get in that circle, but they don't put their behinds together, they put their heads together. And when they put their heads together, when that coyote attacks that one stallion begins to kick. When he begins to kick, all the stallions begin to kick. But instead of kicking each other, they kick their common enemy. We have common challenges with children in Indianapolis and with children in Arlington Woods 46218. That's why we're all here today. We have common challenges. And I want to encourage us to not be like jackasses and put our behinds together and kick each other. But let's put our heads together and let's attack our common enemy together to get our children to get to the level of education that they need to be successful in this world. I'm going to bring up Brandon Brown. I keep saying he's the new leader of the Mine Trust. He's been around for a minute, but we appreciate his passion, we appreciate his leadership, and we appreciate his heart for children and sticking with the vision and the mission of the Mine Trust. It certainly fits with what the Rock Initiative is doing to pour into leaders so that they can equip our young people. Will you all help me thank God for Brandon Brown as he comes at this time?
I think it's Communications 101 to never follow a preacher. So my words that I wrote last night, I'm going to scrap them now. I want to thank Pastor Johnson for your vision and for the incredible work that you've done here for 3 decades to make the Eastern Star Church an important pillar in our community. So thank you, Pastor. I also want to thank the mayor, there he is right there, for his incredible leadership, and our new superintendent, Superintendent Johnson. I'm a little bit biased, but I think we have the best superintendent in the country. Just also wanted to thank Shannon Williams for your incredible leadership in our community. You've been a godsend the last year and a half at the Mine Trust, so thank you. And Kateri Whitley, who is around here somewhere, she has worked really hard to get today off the ground. And Kristen Grimmie, who has really shepherded this exciting partnership through, so thank you all. And the team at Eastern Star Church, I just can't say enough about your all's incredible leadership, your warm friendship. We've had a lot of conversations over the past handful of months. We've worked really hard on this, and your servant leadership has been obvious. And I keep telling people, last Wednesday I had a conversation with our board, and I said, I've not been more excited about anything that we've done in my year and a half as CEO as I'm excited about this. And it's because of you all and your incredible leadership and vision, so thank you. I once heard our great mayor say that every day is a good day, but some days are better than others. And I agree with that. Today is a great day, Mayor. Eastern Star Church's Rock Initiative represents a unique approach to transforming a community. And the Mind Trust is honored to support this initiative, and we honestly think that this could not only serve as a model for other neighborhoods in our community, but could really serve as a model for cities across the country. Too often when we talk about reforming schools and trying to make schools better for our kids, it's done to communities and not with communities. And I think today this is done in partnership on so many levels with community stakeholders who deeply believe in the kids in this neighborhood. And hopefully this partnership can be a signal to others that when we're talking about transforming communities, it can't be from the outside in. It has to start with folks that are most impacted by the racial injustice that we see in our society. And I'm so honored and proud to be able to support that effort. So the Mind Trust is just really excited to support this initiative in 3 ways. First, last year we awarded an Innovation School Fellowship to Principal Henderson to spend a year traveling across the country and the world to see great schools and innovative practices. And she is now bringing those great and transformative practices back to her school at Arlington Woods right across the street. And from all indications, the school year is off to a tremendous start. So we're excited to support her and her school's vision in their quest to become an innovation network school. There's still a long way to go in that application process. Nothing's guaranteed, but we're really excited to support your vision, Taisha. She's one of my favorite educators. Taisha is tenacious. She's incredibly hardworking. She's on the side of kids, and everybody knows that. And she's experienced. She's the type of leader that this community needs to really raise her school to the next level. Second, we're thrilled that Rooted School in Indianapolis, I see the sign right here, found its home on the campus of Eastern Star Church. We learned about Rooted School about 3 years ago and made a Charter School Design Challenge Award about 3 years ago. And now 3 years later, to see this school come to reality, there's a building, there's gonna be kids soon. Mayat is an incredible leader. We just couldn't be more thrilled to see it all come together. And when I think about the pillars of the Rock Initiative and what we heard just a few minutes ago from Jeffrey Johnson, Rooted School couldn't be a better fit. The vision of Rooted School is to make sure that students, especially marginalized students and students of color, have a choice-filled life and have the skills to compete in a 21st century economy and have the financial literacy and the soft skills and the hard skills to close the racial wealth gaps that have been true for 400 years in America. And Mayat has that vision, Rooted School has the model, and when you combine that with the Rock Initiative, great things are gonna happen. Third, as was previewed, we're thrilled to join Eastern Star in a search for another transformative school leader to launch a middle school that will complete the K-12 continuum in the Arlington Woods neighborhood. So as of today, the Mind Trust and our team is searching for that exceptional leader to spend up to 2 years in a fellowship to do exactly what Ms. Henderson did. See schools across the country, see schools across the world, and build an awesome middle school in partnership with this community. And the great thing about this is there's an opportunity to collaborate with both Arlington Woods and Rooted School to make sure that this middle school is aligned with the elementary work that's happening and the high school work that's happening to create this K-12 continuum that I think will be unmatched in the entire city, not to mention the preschool work that's already happening. All told, the Mind Trust plans to invest over $1 million in this initiative. And we feel very deeply that every child in the 46218 zip code deserves a high quality education and deserves a life filled of choices and opportunity, just like kids in other communities have. I told Pastor Murdoch a few weeks ago that it's hard not to believe in a higher power when all of this comes together relatively quickly. The stars have aligned and the stage is set, and our children's futures are at stake. And now it's time to get to work. It's my honor to introduce our great mayor. I say this a lot when I introduce him. I have the honor to introduce him a lot. But throughout his first term, almost 4 years, Mayor Hogsett has continued the Indianapolis tradition of exceptional leadership out of the mayor's office. He's proven to be a great and terrific partner to the Mind Trust and a strong champion for kids in our city. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to welcome Mayor Joe Hogsett.
Well, good morning. Every day is a good day. Some are just better than others. And today is indeed a great day for our city. To my dear friend, Pastor Jeffrey Johnson, this is a wonderful day for Eastern Star, for this great church and church family. You have my commitment, Pastor. I'm going to do everything I can to avoid, at all costs, ever being a jackass. I am so pleased to be here today, welcoming the Rooted School into the Indianapolis school family. This is a huge step in Eastern Star's The Rock Initiative. And it's another great community investment from the Mind Trust. With the addition of the tech-focused Rooted School beginning in the fall 2020 semester, a critical route to good jobs will be added to our city. I think Brandon mentioned the 21st century economy. That's what we are preparing our young people for. A challenge like no other before. The tech industry in Indianapolis, I don't need to tell you, is growing at a tremendous rate. We like to think of ourselves as the tech capital of the Midwest. Thousands of jobs will be added in the next few years alone. And these are good paying jobs. There are also jobs that don't necessarily require a 4-year college degree. You have to get a high school diploma. And you have to get something else beyond a high school diploma to compete in the 21st century economy. But the only way these added jobs can be counted as a success is if they are accessible to residents in every zip code in our city. To do this, we must address the inequities in our city and in the education of our children. We must promote better options in areas where they are most needed. Today, that is exactly what we do. A better education leads to better options. Better options lead to better outcomes. And better outcomes lead to a more peaceful and more prosperous community for all of our citizens. Every single citizen deserves this opportunity. So let me thank Pastor Johnson, Brandon Brown, and everyone committed to the partnership that has brought us the Rooted School. As this partnership between Eastern Star and the Mind Trust continues into the future with the addition of a middle school and a search for its educational leader already underway, we will see the fulfillment of so much potential. There are brilliant young minds all throughout 46218. Don't let anyone tell you differently. There are brilliant young minds everywhere in 46218. And this city owes it to those children to provide an education that lives up to their potential. And today, we take another huge step toward that goal. God bless you, everyone.
All right, so I guess I already called her the best superintendent in the country, so that was going to be my intro. But there's not another city in America where you have so many different sectors and so many folks that are invested in the education of our children working together. And I think I know a lot of that is because of the passion and the courage and the character of Alicia Johnson. So I'm excited for the superintendent of Indianapolis Public Schools, Alicia Johnson, to speak to you all.
Good morning. It is indeed a great day. I'm so excited and pleased to be here alongside Pastor Johnson and the vision that you've set over the past 30 years as a part of this great church and the great legacy of this church. Mayor Hogsett, we see each other every other day, it feels like now, which is certainly a pleasure. And Brandon and Shannon and the work of the Mind Trust. If anyone follows me on Twitter, you'll know one of the hashtags that I've taken to is Stronger Together. And that's because I deeply believe, as Pastor Johnson talked about, that the only way by which we can work together to address that common enemy, the systemic racism and systemic economic challenges that so many in our community face, particularly Black and brown children, is by coming together. So I deeply believe it is time out for the arguments and the wars and the disagreements. We can have those, but we can never lose sight of the fact that we have a community of children who are waiting for us to do the right thing by them. They are depending on us to do the right thing by them. And ultimately, we are depending on them to make sure as they grow and mature into adulthood that they are becoming the kind of people that we aspire for them to be, and more importantly, that they aspire to be for themselves. So I'm so excited that Eastern Star has continued to come alongside Arlington Woods and Ms. Henderson and the work that she has happening at Arlington Woods. It takes a village. It takes all of us working together. Our children are part of a larger community. Our schools are part of a larger community. And there is so much power when that community comes together to support our children and the dreams and goals and visions that they have for ourselves. So I'm excited because they have this possibility to dream in ways that they may not have been able to dream before. And then now they have this opportunity to do in ways that they may not have the opportunity to do before. So we look forward to continued partnership, to growing partnership together. I look forward to being alongside the city of Indianapolis in this journey to make Indianapolis Public Schools and the city of Indianapolis all that we know it can and should be for our young people. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Johnson. I know the Mind Trust and Eastern Star Church, the Rock Initiative, we truly value the partnership you have with our respective entities, so thank you for your remarks. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day. Let me have some energy. Good morning. Yeah. So I'm Shannon Williams, and I lead the community engagement team at the Mind Trust. And every day, our staff, we come to work because we are truly committed to ensuring that all children in Indianapolis, regardless of their neighborhood, regardless of the color of their skin, and regardless of their family socioeconomic status, we believe that all children should have access to a high-quality education. And so our partnership with Eastern Star Church, the Rock Initiative, just totally fulfills our mission, Eastern Star Church's mission, to do that. I think, we're on these grounds, in front of this church, in this community, impacting these children with these folks here for a reason. And I'm just incredibly proud of the partnership, super excited about the work that has been done already and the work that is still left to be done.